Hello and welcome to another episode of the Anime Lounge podcast. I'm your host Lance, here with my other host Matt, and today we have our other host Alec.
Hey, glad to be back.
Good to have you back. So every episode we like to begin with introducing our drinks of choice. Today I will be drinking a classic old fashioned, and I picked up a little bit something different for the side. I found some Voodoo Ranger hard charge teas. They
You have fun
were
with that one.
I've never heard of that.
I like teas.
I've
Yeah. This
I've
is the
heard of
first time
Voodoo
I'm selling
Ranger.
Yeah, Voodoo Ranger. They make some good IPAs, but they have a set of teas as well. I went to the gas station to go pick something up, and then they were like, "Hey, these are on sale, and they're 7% alcohol." So I'm like, "Fucking deal!" So I grabbed a couple cases. This one right now that I'm drinking is a Raz Pop, so it's got some blue raspberry in it. And then the next one I have lined up is half and half. So far so good. This one's not
All
bad.
right.
Well, there you go.
What about you, Alec? What are you drinking?
Tonight I have some Old Forester 1897 bottled in bond, and I will be pairing that with some classic Winking Owl Cabernet Sauvignon. So some class right there.
Yep.
High class, pinky out.
Pinky out.
What about you, Matt?
So I'm a little under the weather, so I'm not going to be drinking a beer, but whiskey makes everybody feel better, right? That's how that works.
Yep.
It used to be prescribed as medicine.
See, so there we go. I am just going to natural remedies. There we go.
Perfect.
Love it.
And I am drinking some Timekeeper Distillery bourbon whiskey. Stuff's delicious, so, nothing too crazy.
Very nice. Today's episode is going to be a little bit special because we're going to be like slightly celebrating it to a small degree. We wanted to do this in our last episode, but for some reason we couldn't find any locally. But this time we actually went and figured it out. We're going to be eating some cream puffs while we record this episode. So each of us has our own container, or in Matt's case, he had a nice, really big one that he ate that he finished before this even started.
Yeah, I had a mash shoving against the face kind of sized cream puff.
I
Nice.
went with quantity over quality, and I'm going to finish this whole bin of cream puffs.
Yeah, I pretty much feel the same. I went the same route that Alec did. I have a whole bucket of tiny frozen ones, and I've already taken quite a dent out of it.
I have to like
I
ration
don't.
now.
Yeah.
I don't need to take a bin worth of cream puffs. So the one was probably a good idea.
Yeah, but it was a big one.
Yes, it was. It was good. I don't think I've had cream puffs before, so good change
No.
of pace. Worth a try.
Yeah, outside of these tiny little ones, I haven't had cream puffs either.
They're good. If anybody hasn't had them to celebrate MASH and all of his love for cream puffs, highly suggest it. They're good if you like sweet things.
Oh, yeah.
You could almost play shot for shot, but instead substitute that with cream puffs for every time they appear in the show.
That's called
Ooh.
diabetes.
How to get diabetes 101. Be Mashle.
I guess if you work out as often as he does, then I guess you can just live on cream puffs.
True.
Great carbs for good energy.
Yep.
Simple sugars, come on. You need those after a good workout. So
All right, well, now that we've given a nice introduction into what we're going to be talking about, Matt, you want to give a quick synopsis for season 2 of Mashle?
yes, since it's been a second since season 2 has been out, for anybody who doesn't remember, this is a 12 episode season covering the Divine Visionary Candidate exam arc, which is exactly as it sounds. They are just going through a tournament to see who is going to be the Divine Visionary candidates. And this is what Finn's brother won last year, which was Ames.
Yep.
That's what he won last year and became a Divine Visionary. So same concept, but just the following year.
Perfect.
And Lance, I know you have a very good Japanese word of the day. Do you want to let everybody else know what it is?
Today's Japanese word of the day is going to be the Japanese word for cream puff, and that's going to be shukurimu. Shukurimu is spelled Shukurimu. Shukurimu is definitely relevant today because obviously Mashle loves his cream puffs, and that's as much as you really need to explain. That's pretty obvious.
I like how they got bigger in size as the show proceeded.
They did seem to
Something
get
like
bigger and
that.
bigger. All right. And Matt likes to read the manga for every episode that we cover. So was there any differences between the anime and the manga?
NANI?!
I'm going to preface this with not really. There really was only one, kind of three differences in between. That was nothing of significance. For anybody who is interested in reading the manga because they don't want to wait for season 3, because I'm not 100% sure when season 3 is happening, I suggest to start on chapter 75. In case you're curious, the whole series is 162 chapters, so we're a little under halfway through.
Interesting.
I would say probably another 2 more seasons worth of content when it comes to Mashle. But the season
Is it going to continue past then, or is that just where it officially ends?
The series is concluded. It concluded
Okay, cool.
2023. I think it concluded not long after season 1 came out. But
Did
don't
not
quote
know
me on
that.
that one. Yep, it is concluded. And then as far as the differences are concerned, if you remember in the anime when it came to Carpaccio's angel, like the angel that was the one that was essentially getting all the damage. In the anime, you really only saw it after Mash started inflicting damage on him. In the manga, you pretty much saw it the whole time.
Oh, it was quite the reveal to see him. Like, it almost looked like, as we come to learn about seconds, like it kind of gave me that kind of vibe after watching it a second time.
Yep.
But I guess it would make sense that it should be at least out the entire time, or at least visible.
Yeah.
It seemed almost hidden unless needed. Like it
Right.
like
Yeah.
kind of worked in the background.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, that's
It
definitely
made
how
it
I
kind
talk
of
about it.
so when you're saying like it was always in the background, like you could like see her and like the
Yep.
like aura around it.
Yeah, she was apparent the entire time. Macaron's transformation wasn't as menacing like that demon that showed up as he is turning into her. That you never see it.
Oh, that's pretty lackluster.
Yeah, it was like all the music notes and the score and everything around him, and then the smoke dissipates, the notes dissipate, and it's female Macaron.
Okay, so basically went Super Saiyan, got longer hair, turned.
I like that comparison.
Sure, yeah, pretty much.
She aged backwards, and then or they aged backwards. I also but that's something we can talk about later. That was interesting. So you're saying in the manga it wasn't, it just was like a poof?
Yeah, all the music. It was the music notes. It was the smoke. It was all that, but not the demon. Like the demon shadow that appeared. That made no sense.
Yeah,
if
I was
you
about to
think
say.
about it.
To be fair, they kind of just threw that in. I was getting really excited. I'm like, wow, we're gonna have a real demonic change here, and then all of a sudden, like, no, you just get a little bit younger.
You get a woman, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, real
okay.
demon.
More of a girl than a woman.
I'm fair, yes, I suppose. Innocent Zero's body rejected him almost immediately. Basically, he used the Wahlberg spell, took out 2 mountains instead of 1. You had much bigger impact, like took out a bunch of trees. Mash attempted to fight him, like throw a punch. He stopped it, and then you just see his face rejecting the power, essentially. So it just it very much quickened when his body rejected the power.
Boost of energy, yeah. Interesting. Okay.
So the fight wasn't as long then?
No, almost every single fight was either longer or slightly shorter, just depending on the fight. For the most part, they were all much longer. The giant monster that's going to attack the Colosseum, like it's kind of much more lackluster. It's not really attacking the Colosseum. Everybody's not trying to run away. Basically, it starts walking towards the Colosseum. Everybody starts freaking out. Everybody does the attacks. It doesn't work. And then as it like continues to walk, Mash starts pulling on its chains like it does in the anime. But it's not trying to punch the Colosseum. It's just trying to walk. And then they have like a tug of war. Mash wins. Same concept.
Okay. So less dramatic in the manga.
Yeah. The beach scene does happen. I just want to throw that out there because that is not...
Gotta have a beach scene.
Gotta have a beach scene. And then the only real difference is that whole after the fake McGonagall tells Mash that he passes, all the people start like protesting outside the school. None of that happens.
Really?
Yeah,
What do you mean? Like, how does it end then?
it
He
continues.
just gets the grades?
Yeah, he gets his grades, and then they continue on what's going to be season 3.
Whoa.
So basically,
Interesting.
The whole
chapter
second half of that episode.
yeah, chapter 74 ends with Mash finding out that he passed. Essentially,
Okay. I wonder if it's going to be like a chapter 80 kind of thing then, and they just threw in there early.
yeah, maybe it might be. I'm gonna have a feeling no, but maybe.
Yeah. Sometimes they throw some early content out there that's just a little out of order, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was kind of like the whole premise is that Mashle's not only fighting for his life, but if he gets killed, then his friends are going to be killed as acquaintances. So I mean
Yeah,
that was a
from
pretty like heavy tone to end on for such a lighthearted, parody show. Satire.
Satire, yep.
But that's it. That's all I got.
Okay.
Nothing. No real changes.
Nice.
Very easy read. I do suggest anybody who likes the show pick up the manga. It's fun. You're pretty much good copy between the anime and the manga.
I gotta say, I love this show.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm laughing at the show like every 10 seconds.
Like my wife or Caitlin would always come in. Caitlin would always come in and she'd be like, "You are literally like cackling and busting out laughing. Like, what are you watching?" I'm like, "I don't think I've ever seen a show this funny. Like, I'm literally dying to it."
It's just all the small little detailed comments that they make about everything that just they're so unneeded, but they're in there just so perfectly.
Well, because you're kind of like questioning in your mind, like, is this serious? And then like it'll bring up in the show, like, this is absurd. Like, oh yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, just stuff that's so ridiculous that it's funny. So one part that I legitimately laughed out loud for was the fight between Mash and Carpaccio when Mash turns his wand into a tennis racket.
Yeah. Of all things.
Just that whole series of events was so funny. And for no reason.
Well, I mean, if you think of it, he idolizes like sports and things that just aren't magic.
Yep.
Like I guess for him, like it makes perfect sense. But like I think Dot makes the comment like, we're using terms like serve and bowling ball, and it doesn't sound very magical to me.
Yeah, I like that they made that shout out.
Yeah, that one does happen. That one's really funny. I laughed pretty much in every single episode. I laughed out loud a little bit. The last episode where Mash just digs himself into the ground because he doesn't want to study anymore.
It's like an ostrich.
I was a little bit surprised that he actually gave up on studying and was like ready to quit. Like, because we saw earlier in this season that like when they were when his like dad's shed and they're all playing that board game and then he quickly leaves so that he can go eat his cream puff in private. Like, I thought it was going to be like another one of those kind of scenes, but I was a little shocked that he actually dug himself into a hole.
Literally.
I think probably where I laughed the most was when it was like right after the event and they're all sitting down and Mashle goes into this like weird like monologue on why he lifts dumbbells.
Yep.
And he's like, "Well, I guess I lift them because they're there." And like Finn is like, "Why are you talking? No one even said anything." And then the other girl starts going into a Lemon. She starts going into a monologue. He's like, "No, not you too."
Yep. Yeah, I definitely wanted to
died.
talk about that one. I thought it was so goddamn funny. Like, I was watching this series while I was working out too, so it was so perfect because just when he was going into the monologue about like why do people have arms, it's so that they can hold dumbbells. I'm like,
yes,
that's literally what I'm doing right now.
That's why you have arms.
Yeah,
that's why you have legs to deadlift the.
Of course.
Yep.
Oh my god, I was weak that whole entire episode. But I mean, yeah, I think every episode, I think I at least bursted out laughing once.
Oh yeah, I'm really glad that they also brought a call back out to naming all of his muscles and Kevin and whatnot. Definitely appreciated that.
They needed a call
about
out.
that for a second.
I like how he has different voices for him.
Yeah, that too. And as Peck was talking to him, and he's like, "Oh, like warning him of danger."
Like his spidey senses.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kevin. Another funny one was when it was at the very end when all the protesters were like saying stuff and Lemon's talking and she's like, my husband, and they're like, he's married already?
Yeah.
It's like, well, not my husband, but
We're betrothed, but don't worry, we've never even held hands yet. And Dad's like, okay. Or I guess that's not really his dad, his caretaker, I guess, his pseudo dad, adoptive father.
Yeah.
yes. And then the board game was super funny too. It was so spot on.
Oh, but yeah, it was everybody's futures.
Yeah. It's really funny. It was really funny earlier, like for our listeners off to the side a couple days ago, we had made a comment in our group chat and Alec just so happened to bring up like a D100. And that's exactly what they were rolling for that board game too. Like apropos.
Well, that's
of
what brought
nothing.
it up. I was
Oh, what?
like, oh my gosh, like a 100-sided dice. I haven't seen one of those in forever. And then you guys brought up the you're doing some D&D, and I'm like, are you using the 100-sided dice?
No, that would be pretty crazy. We need to put a lot of thought, like that 100 separate. Well, I guess that doesn't
do
need
it.
to be that way. I'm thinking too much about it. I was gonna say like, you know what? Before I get too carried away in D&D talk, let's just cut it there.
Yeah, Lance is the dungeon master, so he's thinking that way. I'm just sitting here like, what could you do 100-sided dice for?
Lots of things.
But that scene itself was like really kind of cool because it was like his first experience with friends, other than like their time out. Where even then, like he shows up with like his ab wheel. And
Yep.
he's like, I wasn't sure what to wear. This is my first time hanging out with friends. And then Finn's like, but did you have to accessorize with an ab wheel?
Yeah, right.
It's just absolutely ridiculous, but it had me laughing just the entire freaking time. It was great. I love this show. I'm so excited for season 3. I probably rewatched it. This is like literally joined my rewatch list on like as far as like for my humor humor animes.
Oh yeah,
Good,
definitely.
good. And I think that's something that's good about this show is it's not just MASH that's the subject of all of the jokes, because like what you brought up with the first time they hung out, where you've got
Dot.
Lance, where Dot came up in the suit of armor. Lance was
Yeah.
wearing the undershirt with his sister's face on it.
Yep.
Cringe.
Yeah.
Do you want these things of my sister? No, we do not. No.
I like the explanation that Mash gave his father about Lance and about he's one of those guys that doesn't understand that other people don't care about what's important to him. It's like, you know what? Now that you say that out loud, that's exactly who he is.
Yes.
I have definitely met people like Lance before. Not you, Lance, but
Yeah, I don't have a sister complex.
no.
But no, I love everybody's quirks about who they are and why they're weird.
Did you guys have like a favorite character throughout this? And like, was there somebody that you looked forward to seeing, or was it just all around?
Anybody got one to start with?
Matt?
I'm gonna be chalk. It's gonna be Mash. Matt, he was fantastic. So many funny moments. And then like even in his fight scenes, so when he is fighting the like steel iron person, I'm drawing a blank on what their name is, which they call this sister or
What, Cell?
sibling cell war. Yeah. Just running across all of the attacks.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mash
So,
all around, he's just super funny.
Yeah.
He kind of reminded me of that scene of not Rock Lee, but his sensei in Naruto, where he's like, I have no idea who you are, and the shark guy's like, we fought like 10 times.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
a typical ditzy character.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean you don't remember who I am? The entrance exam. No.
No, that wasn't you. No, Mashle, no, he was, I would have to agree, he was definitely the funniest.
Yeah.
I would have to go, if I wasn't picking Mashle, Finn. Finn was probably my next favorite character of the season. One, because he kind of like, I feel like he's the only one that's aware of everybody else's like ineptitudes, I guess. Like
Yeah.
he'll just like point out like that, just the absurdities of everything going on. But like he's also just all around stand up like friend of Mashle's, to the point where he stood up to Carpaccio, and even Mashle was like, put yourself into his shoes. He knew he wasn't going to win, but he still stood up to you and and gave it his all the entire friggin' fight, would you have done the same thing?
Mhm.
And I feel like if anyone deserves some credit, Finn is owed some. He's like the Samwise Gamgee of the show.
Yeah, he is. He's definitely the glue that keeps sanity in this group.
Correct.
What about you, Lance? Who do you like the best?
I'm a little torn. Part of me wants to say Dot because I love his fiery passion and how stupid he is. But at the same
He's
time,
lovable.
I also kind of want to say Carpaccio.
Okay.
Only Carpaccio in the sense that I love his ability, but I love Dot because of like his personality. So
Gotcha.
I'm gonna kind of go split way there, but I want to talk
Okay.
about let's talk about Carpaccio for a second because I mean we already kind of did, but I loved his super OP ability of no
Is it really
damage
OP?
taken. He
Full
can
reflect.
full reflect and take 0 damage. Period. I mean
And-
not period, but like obviously Mashle overpowered it, but in concept it's insanely overpowering.
One thing I noticed throughout the show is that there's like a lot of Naruto influences. Like this guy completely matched up with gosh, I forget his name. He was like the Akatsuki member of death, and he would inflict pain on himself to curse the other person and kill them. And we'll talk about an OP ability. I mean, like you're
Mhm.
literally. I mean, what can you do against that? Like honestly, like how would other than Mashle just beating the absolute shit out of him, what else could work?
Yeah, exactly. Unless you had some kind of anti-reflect or just
A
some way
reflect
to
reflect.
reflect. Yeah, just some way
Uno
to
reverse.
yeah. I mean, good thing for Mashle, like he could withstand the punches that he was throwing, but
Anime logic.
that's it exactly. I was about to say that too. He is unless you have a debuff that you can throw out there, like there's not much you can do against him. I liked him a lot just because of how OP he was, and it was kind of sad that like someone like him wasn't like a final opponent or something like that.
Was he the first Master Cane that we came across, or does Mashle have the Master Cane as well with his lead racket wand thing? Is
that
that
con-
one of the Master Canes?
Yeah, I was about to say, is that considered a master cane or is that just
I don't know.
heavy?
It seemed to have some importance, but it didn't. I feel like they would have made a mention to it in the show. I mean, it looks like this guy, he was granted one at birth. He's like, I've always had this wand and I've never felt pain.
Oh, that's right. He got it pretty early.
So is a
Mhm.
Master Cane something you're like born with? I guess we'll find out more in the next season.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Because the other master cane we saw was Rain Ames with his big sword shit when he was fighting Margaret.
Yeah, it was like a spear sword thing. It was cool when it fully came out.
Yeah, a lot going on.
It was like a trident, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it was cool.
Absolutely.
And it sliced through freaking the world. So I mean, you could tell that was it Rain Ames. Yeah, he's strong as shit. I thought his only ability was his like 1,000 sword thing.
Yeah, right. But I mean, I guess he is considered one of the divine visionaries, so I would imagine all of them have a special cane ability.
So is he already a divine visionary and a third year prefect? How does that work?
Yes.
Yeah, both.
So if you
Wouldn't-
remember from my basically synopsis, the
Mhm.
Divine Visionary entrance exam is how they decide, and then if you can win that, you can work to be a Divine Visionary, and he basically got it. They'll explain that better later.
Okay. Do they say what's after the written exam? Like I feel like he's done all the tests now. What am I missing?
So
He
that's
did the written
school.
exam. He did the 1v1, and he did the what's it called, the test thing for the balloons.
So that was, you're thinking of the written and practical for school. That's separate. The Divine Visionary entrance exam is completely separate. So that you need the coins to be able to be selected for,
Mhm.
and then you have to make it through everything, which Mash is going to be. He's the one that made it. It got cut short because remember, Innocent Zero came in after Macaron and Mash fought.
Mhm.
Because we had Finn, or not Finn, we had Lantz and Dot to go still, and there was probably some
Yeah,
other
there's still
people.
more fights to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, I kind of forgot all about that. Holy crap.
it was like the interruption of the tuning exams. Like
Yeah.
we still got some 1v1s to witness. I want to see Finn just wreck someone.
Yeah.
Yes, that'd be cool.
He's owed a kick ass, you know? Like we need to see him shine. He's
Do
been
we-
he's been put down for too long.
I would say more than what we've seen, at least. Because we've seen him be strong, but not really get his justice, I guess you could say.
He's taken a hit. I want to see him dish it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna I would like to imagine how he could be offensively, because we saw him defensively when he was running away from Carpaccio, where he was able to do that like teleporting thing, but like he teleported Carpaccio,
Yep.
which didn't get fully explained. So like, what is the extent of Finn's magical abilities?
So I have
Yeah.
a theory on that.
Okay.
Oh, Matt,
for
do you
it.
want to go first?
Nope, you can go.
Okay, so that got me thinking, as I was literally thinking the exact same thing, Lance. I'm so glad you brought this up. So he has like a switch ability, and I was like, where have I seen this before? And it got me thinking of Jujutsu Kaisen with what's his name's claps.
Toto.
And I was Toto's, yeah, with Toto's claps, and I was like, whoa, what if Finn is able to like develop into sort of like that, plus like Goku's instant transmission thing, and form his own like switch to be like right up on the guy and like just punch the shit out of him.
I like where you're going with this, because when Carpaccio teleported back to that base where he destroyed that other crystal of that other guy, like that other guy's body wasn't in camera view. So either he got teleported out of that room as soon as his crystal got smashed, or the two bodies swap spots. And like, so that's where my first thought went too. It was like, did they swap spots? But I didn't go as far as to thinking like that was a necessary thing for Finn's ability or anything like that.
Like, what if he swaps himself with the other person, like kind of doing like a switch around?
Yep.
And then it's enough to disorient them, and he just lands it like just right across the jaw. Like that's what I'm looking forward to.
I can see it.
That'd be cool.
He needs to pop his cherry of manhood.
I don't see it happening, but we can hope. I feel like he's going to be our pacifist, and that's going to be.
Oh, for sure.
He's so defensive. Oh my gosh, but he's got balls to him. I want to see him flex.
Yep. You want to see those balls flex?
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say, but not his balls. But
now, as I eat this cream puff,
creamy.
So I have a question. Have you guys listened to? We talk about how we always skip the opening song. This is one I could not skip. I think I did it like one time.
Oh yeah.
I loved it. I literally was dancing along to it.
Yeah, I know Matt. I know for sure Matt loves this.
Yes.
Matt was telling me about this intro song before I had even watched this anime or this second season to begin with. So I had no idea what he was talking about when like it became like a TikTok trend to do the Bing Bong. And
it is a TikTok trend. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it was for a second, at least for the nerds out there. But I totally understand. What are these guys called? Something nuts?
Creepy Nuts. That's what it is.
Creepy Nuts?
Creepy Nuts. There it is. Yeah, because they also did Dndnoobz intro too, and both are bangers.
Yep.
So
this is better, but yes.
Oh, you like this one better?
Yeah, I do.
I put them about 50-50. Dndnoobz.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, I think they're both equally as good. I can't really pick one over the other. I did enjoy this intro. I did listen to it a couple times. I will say that for sure. I didn't skip it every time, but at least a good 5 or 6 times I listened to it on a total of 2 full watches. So
gotta listen to the intro. You know how I stand on that. It puts you in the zone, man.
Oh, it does. Yeah, I totally agree. But at the same rate, trying to pump through a bunch of content, make sure I get all this in my brain.
You can always skip through it the second time you watch it.
Oh, well, that was kind of the caveat. Like with my 2 sets of watches in a combination, I did listen to the song about 5 times. So it's more than I would normally. I didn't even listen to this that much for Dndnoobz.
That's because it's better. That's why.
I gave it its justice.
Good. Very, very deserving. Alec, did you or have you heard I guess you could call it a parody, but the English version of this song?
No, I haven't actually.
I don't think I have either.
All right, so you're gonna need to listen to it. It's by Game Boy Jones.
Okay, hold on.
Fantastic.
All right, Can you put it in
Uh,
the chat so I can copy and paste it later?
Yeah, I'll put it right
yes.
Awesome.
Okay.
Because I was like, wait, I
Yeah.
could put it on my phone. I'm like, wait, I'm using my phone. Shit.
I can't. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. He does a lot of parody stuff, or I guess English remakes. Is probably a better way to say it.
Mhm.
And the one for this one, I think, got like a couple million streams. So definitely a banger.
Nice.
Awesome. I'm all
I would
about
say we
that.
need to pause and listen to it, but we'll just continue. We'll continue on. It's worth it.
We'll get around to it.
Absolutely. I know we talked about a lot of funny moments. Did anybody have a favorite episode or favorite moment?
So I definitely had a favorite. Like there was a lot of good action in this, and I will say the fight between Wahlberg, the headmaster. So Headmaster Wahlberg and Abel, not Abel, but
Innocent.
Innocent.
Zero.
The battle between space and time was,
Yep.
I think, an awesome representation of like the two most powerful forces. And then time being able to resurrect death, I thought that was great. Or
Yeah.
like use death to resurrect their old master. It brought like the seriousness of the episode of like the anime kind of in. And I just absolutely love that. And it had the classic like not it's always the left arm. You ever notice that in anime? It's always the left arm of somebody that gets knocked off first. Loved it.
Not Vegeta. It's always his right arm, but
That is true, but Vegeta is different from everybody else, so it would
that's
make
true.
sense that it's his right arm.
That is true. He's willing to admit that he wants to see Bulma in the shower. So
Yeah, that
Mhm.
too. No, I totally
What about you,
agree.
Lance?
I love the idea of space and time coinciding and fighting each other. That's just a typical science kind of thing. Loved it. As for that whole entire fight, definitely probably my number one favorite. But my
Okay.
second favorite comes from the Cell fight. Prior to us recording this, I showed you guys the TikTok that I put on our page with Cell and Mash fighting, and Mash just shoving cream puffs into Cell's face, and he's going shh, 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 and he's just chanting cream puff party, cream puff party. It was just so subtle, monotoned, and just absolutely hilarious. That scene stuck with me so hard. And what really got to me was the shh part. Like, just tell him, just take it, it's okay.
It's just cream puffs.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, one of my favorites.
What I love about that fight though is like he's like an actual like legitimate bad guy, and here's Mashle just making an absolute fool of him.
Yep,
correct.
yeah, because Cell had a new evolution to his powers too, and it almost meant even nothing.
He still used some of the same techniques, but his giant like freaking carbon thistle ball thing, like that was a
Beyblades?
whole new thing.
Oh, the spike ball, yeah.
Yeah.
Spike ball was new, his Beyblades were new. I don't remember him turning himself into a diamond body.
He didn't need to.
That was interesting.
Yep.
What about you, Matt?
My favorite one was actually the Carpaccio and Mash fight. So I want to say that was episode 17.
Mm-hmm.
That one was my favorite. Just seeing the tennis volley, seeing Mash just beat the shit out of him, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was a little like slightly disappointed that like every time that ghost, the bandaged up version of his wand was like shooting out all those syringes at him, and like it was really just an obstacle to avoid. It really like we didn't get to see anything else come out of it. Like they did. I don't know. I just wish they had a moment of weakness.
Meant to be offensive. I think she was only meant to be defensive, and I think that's why that was the problem. She became unraveled and chaotic, and she couldn't control herself because she herself was a healer and a shield, not an offensive tool or a weapon.
It would make sense.
Good point. Yeah, just kind of spraying and praying instead of actually aiming to shoot. That makes sense. I will say we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the Macaron and Mashle fight, sound versus muscles.
Yep. It's probably one of the, I mean, not that fight specifically, but when Macaron got first introduced and when he was fighting Rain, like that was the first, like, most beautifully animated scenes in this season 2. Like every time Macaron came into the picture, the animation was on point.
Yes.
I love the music notes. The music itself was great whenever
Mm.
Macaron was around. And I mean, using sound to fight, I mean, that was kind of cool. Like even Mashle had no idea how to defend against it. Like he went to go block it and just like went right through him and busted his eardrums.
Right.
Yep.
I was also kind of hoping that throughout the fight they would play a little bit more on the fact that his eardrums got blown out, and like every time they talked, he would just be like, "What?" That would have been a total Mash thing to do, but he just recovered out of it.
Yeah.
Classic Mashle. Yeah, and I maybe I'm just like kind of behind the times, but I feel like this was the first time where like a they them was recognized in an anime show. I don't think I've ever encountered that in any other one. Like I've certainly seen ones with what do you call it, androgynous characters, but this was the first time where I've seen pronouns really being used in an anime. Like, have you seen
Maybe
that?
as a they them. I was gonna say
Yeah.
I watched one anime that was very. We talked about it back when we did Wisteria, that there was another anime that I said that was very much alike, and I can't remember the name of this.
Heavenly Delusions or something like that. It's on
Seven.
Hulu.
Yeah, there's something about like all these swords, but it was another
Hmm.
anime that was like Wisteria, but it was about like these 7 swords. And there was a
No.
character in there that at certain times he just like switches sexes between boy and a girl.
But
See-
do they say they them though?
No,
They did in
when
this
he
show.
right when they that's a good point too. Yeah, it's obvious when that character switches that they refer to who that person is at that point in time.
Yeah, I remember they had a character in Naruto with Zabuza, his ward or whatever. Everyone thought it was a boy until she had that girl character scene. So I mean, like it's always been around, but I think this is the first time it's ever been addressed.
I mean, I've seen some others where they kind of swap back and forth between male and female. Hell's Paradise does that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But as far as like shows where you go into more like they them, or I know it's on Netflix if you're on Hulu. If you give me a second, I can.
Mm-hmm.
There are more than these 8 shows.
And I remember in Margaret's second form how that she was like, and in my heart I've always been a girl, and even Dot was like, I was wondering that the whole time but didn't want to ask.
Yeah.
I love how he's like the voice of the audience.
Yeah, right. Oh, and speaking of voice of the audience, I have also put in my notes that I found it super funny that like the narrator was also like a side character, because like not every time, but a couple of times like the narrator would be doing his thing and like the characters would like break a fourth wall and like comment on the narrator or just treat him as if someone else was just like there with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was hilarious. Is the narrator one of the characters? I feel like I haven't heard the voice anywhere else.
Yeah, I haven't pinpointed it if that's
Because
gonna
at first
be
I thought it was
case.
the headmaster, but it's not.
Part of me wanted to say it was that like super ginger poofed up hair kid that got introduced in this one. His name's Nary Sean, and he was flying around with Ryo with the top of the Visionaries, and that scene came clear when they were flying to the Coliseum, and then like the narrator was narrating that it took 2 episodes for them to get here, and then Nary is like repeating exactly what the narrator said, and then Ryo's like, it would have been cooler, way hotter if you said that before the narrator said that. So it just makes. I wonder if
have we seen him at his full power yet? The blonde visionary
Ryo? No, I don't think so.
No,
I didn't think so. I was like, how come I don't remember this guy actually doing anything?
the
pretty
He's
boy
been
one.
on the
No.
sidelines.
Yeah, so far
being
he's
Grandois.
just there.
Yeah, I think that's something that's really nice about this show is that, they introduce everybody. We know that they're going to be strong, but they're like, well, here's a little bit of this person. Here's a little bit of this person. Pay attention to them, but you'll find out more later. And it's like, okay, I'll accept that.
While we're here, let's just talk about the Visionaries real quick.
Yes.
So we only know about like technically less than half of them as far as who they are and what they can do. There's a total of 8 of them at the moment. We know that Rain Ames, he's the Sword Cane. We saw him in action earlier. We just got done talking about Ryo. Don't exactly know what he is. We know Caldo, the Chinese looking guy who has that really fucking sick fire sword that was playing games with Mash. And we also know about Orter, the guy with the glasses with sand powers.
Yeah, the fake Harry
Can
Potter one.
Caldo use magic?
Yes.
I imagine so.
Because Mash kept making a comment on he's like, hey, he didn't cast a single spell against me. He was only fighting without magic.
He uses a spell to make the circle around Mash.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, he does use magic to
Oh,
start
that's true.
the whole
Okay.
game.
He does use a little magic.
Yeah.
So he was just kind of testing him without any of his magic ability. Ooh, I do want to see what he's capable of.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, we've
Okay, so
seen kind of the other ones.
What's the sand guy with the glasses?
Orter.
Orter? Yeah.
The fake Harry.
The fake Harry Potter. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, with Gara's abilities.
Yes.
Speaking of Order, what are your guys' thoughts on him? Because he's a pretty interesting character so far.
Trying to sabotage.
Yep.
I think he has some ulterior motives.
Definitely. I mean, we definitely saw him trying to sabotage Mash throughout the series when he was trying to get Margaret to take him on.
Do you think he's a double agent for Innocent Zero?
I'm a little bit of two minds here. I kind of think my first impulse was he's like a secret agent. He's the bad guy. He's working with Sinister Zero. But at the same Innocent Zero. But at the same time, he's such a hardcore rule follower that he just might be that to a fault.
Yep.
That is true.
So that's,
but
like
he's definitely meddling.
Both ways. He's definitely meddling for sure. But that's because he believes that non-magics don't have a place in this world. So he's trying to get them out.
Very pure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He knows Wahlberg has too much influence to prevent anything. So he's trying to ensure that his influence can't be followed.
Yeah, because you definitely know that Caldo is on Mash's side. You know that Order is against him. That other vision, the one visionary that I really want to see in action is the guy with the familiar, the dragon on him. What's his name?
Agato.
Yeah, he looks like he's somebody to be feared. Like he was definitely the spokesperson. He has a dragon, a baby dragon, so you know there's got to be a bigger guy out there.
Yep.
So he's a visionary that I'm really excited in seeing. I love familiars. I love animal companions or whatnot. So I'm excited to see what he does.
Do you think all of the Divine Visionaries are third liners?
I was gonna ask that. I didn't see any third lines.
Well, that's easy. They
come and go.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's easy to
like with Rain.
Quick, yeah, because
Rain and he's the youngest.
Yep.
Rain and Wahlberg both had their third lines like appear and disappear.
So did Innocent Zero.
So you think all those big hitters all have 3 lines? I would be under that assumption.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's what it takes to be a Divine Visionary. I think that's what the ultimate test is you need to produce a third line.
You think it's gonna be the final test? Like getting into the zone?
Yeah.
Do you think Mash will form a real line?
No, he's going to draw 3 of them.
Ooh, so you think he's going to go straight to 3?
I can see him drawing. I would like to imagine that we're not going to uncover some secret, deep hidden magical thing that he has. I think it might be a little of a disservice to why he's so powerful now is because he's so
muscle
left
magic.
field.
Come on.
Yeah, muscle magic. He's just
spine magic.
He's just so left field on everything. I think everything needs to be silly for him to make his way to the top.
I love how his magic always gets questioned. Like, are you sure that's a spell? Like, I've never heard of spine magic.
Yep.
One person I wanted to bring up, I think his name was Mark Third or whatever. He was like a second year that helped Mash during the goat test. Who was that guy and why did he like Mash?
Not exactly sure.
Like he just kind of came out of nowhere, I feel like. Was he ever introduced?
I don't think so. He was just like, I
know he was in the same house as him, but I don't think they shared anything else.
Max Land.
Yeah,
him.
Yeah, he was just talking that he was wanting to make his senior happy because he was talking about Rain Ames and like Rain was talking mad props about Mash. So he's like, well, I guess you are that good. And that was pretty much like he just heard about him and then fell for Mash's charm. And that was about it. It was really just a catalyst for Mash to get past the first test without using magic.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. Because he gets immediately eliminated by Carpaccio.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which that was kind of sad. That was kind of, he didn't need to do that. He already had a key, and he just like shows up with this dude, like kicks him to the floor. Is like, what you gonna do about it?
Well, that's what happens when you're a fucked up person. So
Right.
Yeah, it's true. He had questionable ethics.
Oh yeah, for
Correct.
sure. But yeah, just to rewind a second and give a quick prop to Mash's very awkward breakdancing scene.
I loved the solving a problem with breakdancing. That was brilliant.
I
Yep.
mean, still better than the Olympics, so it's okay.
I loved his like ginger like foot stepping into it. Like they really put a lot of animation into it.
Yeah, I thought it was really weird that each toe had like its own curl, like its own
Yeah.
animation. Like they really put some time and effort into those
Mhm.
specific little scenes.
See, I appreciate that stuff. Like that's like one of the reasons I watch anime is like those like small
For
detail arts.
foot toe scenes. That's
I love all the foot scenes. You got it. But just like the individual detail on something so small.
Yeah.
And like they went into like he's like doing all these like turns and twists. You're like, oh, what's he about to do? Oh, he's gonna break dance. Okay.
Yep,
Yeah,
all the silly stuff.
all right. So I know Alec and Lance need to shout out on some more cream puffs. So let's do Mash some justice and take a cream puff break.
Cream puff party.
Hey everyone, Lance here trying to promote our new podcast, Dndnoobz, that we have started, and we would really appreciate it if you guys would go and give us a listen anywhere you find podcasts, where Matt and a couple other friends of ours join in on my shenanigans and we play through a post-apocalyptic world where we fight some bad priests and try to save the world. So I hope we can see you guys there. Again, that's Dndnoobz, that's Noobz. And now we'll get back to our program.
And now that we've had some cream puffs to give us some energy, we can get back into what we're hoping to see in season 3 of Mashle, which, Alec, why don't you kind of start us off and I'll look and see if there's been a confirmation for when it's going to come out.
Sure, great. Yeah. So for season 3, I'm definitely looking forward to the continuation of the Divine Visionary exam. I want to see Finn fight somebody. I want to
Okay.
see Dot fight somebody, like actually like engage in combat against an actual mage, because I want to see what they can do. Like they're at this point they're a lot of talk, and I want to see them just 1v1 mid lane bro and just freaking kick ass. So that's my main hope for season 3, is just a continuation and bringing you to the conclusion of the Divine Visionary exam. I would also
right.
love to see Innocent Zero come back for a version 0.2 fight.
Yeah, I kind of think, since we're already speculating that this is going to be 4 seasons, I can kind of see we're not gonna go against Innocent Zero until season 4 material again. It's gonna take some time for Innocent Zero to come up with a body to maintain all this new magical power he's absorbed, which we kind of did gloss over that entire battle, even though we all agree that it was an amazing battle. But regardless, I think that's going to be put on pause, and we're going to focus on the visionary stuff. And then after we get to learn about the rest of the visionaries and Mash somehow becomes stronger, is when we'll be able to use that kind of information to move towards a conclusion of some sorts. So maybe Innocent Zero will come in at the end of season 3 and start fucking with things and then give us a reason for season 4. But I really don't expect him to do much to interfere with the rest of the exam. I think we're going to focus pretty much primarily on the rest of that. That's what I like to expect.
Okay. that's
Gotcha.
fair.
What about you, Matt?
I have a feeling we're going to find ways to be stronger with all of our characters. I think essentially the exam is over. They're just going to move on and kind of forget about it. So I think that part's kind of done.
Oh, you don't think we're gonna touch back at it?
No, I think they're just going to be like, oh, well, sorry.
Hmm.
Due to getting, due to getting Innocent Zero's interference, we're just going to cancel this Divine Visionary exam for this year. And they're just going to kind of move on.
Okay. I can
Okay.
see that happening.
I think they are going to focus on ways, because now everybody knows that Innocent Zero is going after MASH. They're going to find ways to kind of figure out how to prevent him from essentially being complete, as what he keeps saying. So how, I don't know, but
Yeah, a complete Innocent Zero would be pretty goddamn interesting.
well, he's gonna have to take over MASH, so that we don't want that.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, because he's gonna need. I mean, we anime logicking this like he needs Mash's body in a way to nullify the overload of magic in him.
Yeah,
I think
basically,
so.
yeah, his strength will be able to overdo all the excess magic, essentially.
And he's absorbed 5 of his children. Mash is the last one.
I think it's the other way. I don't think he's absorbed any. I think. Oh, that's another thing is that we know that he has brothers.
Yep.
And Cell was just a ditto. You know, he copied. He's just another replica that's out there. So that's another thing that we can expect is to fight all of his siblings. Like I'm pretty sure that they're still out there. I don't think they're absorbed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's definitely going to be another thing to look forward to.
Yeah, maybe we'll see some of them in like the second half of season 3.
Yeah. Now that we're talking about this, I totally see that being a thing. Yeah, I take
Yeah,
all
Yeah,
that
I want
back.
to see some more
Yeah,
Mash.
I think we'll get like a mini training arc, and then we'll get some fighting against Innocent Zero's sub siblings.
Mm,
Yep. I think that's going to be the course. I like that
that
idea.
would be cool. I have a lot of hope for this show. I mean, it's really funny. I think it's even more funny than One Punch Man, which was probably my old favorite like humor action anime, I guess if I were to classify it as that. But now MASH, honestly, Mashle is my new favorite humor anime. Like I think this is hilarious. It's also entertaining to watch on fight scenes, and I think it's going to combine both for season 3, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, as far as comedy goes, I think this is probably my number one favorite comedy. Even above like Spy Family and stuff, I think MASH wins.
I would
Yeah.
agree with that. I laugh more at Mashle than Spy Family. I do love Spy Family.
Right.
But-
Spy Family's story I like better, but as far as a pure comedy, like satire kind of show, this is 100% the one.
Right.
Oh, facts.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to I feel like the other characters, so all of his friends, are going to get stronger and be more helpful because we got Finn to be the one that basically protected MASH, and I feel like Lantz and Dot and maybe Lemon are going to kind of have their own mini arc kind of thing where they step up and help MASH in some way.
Hopefully, yeah.
Do we know what Lemon can do?
Nothing.
Ooh,
She
I-
keeps talking about being an emotional burden, but other than that, I don't know what else she does.
She's his future wife. Come on. That's all she needs
Of
to
course. The fiance, of course.
there might
the-
have been
pretty
something
blonde.
in season 1 that's like back in that maze. Maybe she did something, but I'm running a complete blank on Lemon right now.
No, she didn't do anything, and Mash saved her for no apparent reason, and she was trying to kill him in ineptitude.
Correct.
So she still didn't have any powers then either. So like she's just been coasting.
Plot twist: the reason why she's so into MASH is because she's also magicless.
Ooh.
No, she has a line, remember?
Well, what if she
She could-
faked? Like she drew it on like MASH did.
She did the handcuffs, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, she can do magic. Yeah. I was Lance, I thought you were onto something.
Yeah,
She-
I
she
was
can do-
I was getting into it too.
She can do binding magic, so that's for when they do get married.
Yeah, that's kind of hot.
All right, I pulled her up. She's got Levios, personal magic, and a type of binding magic. It creates and manipulates binding like manacles and chains. It can also break or negate other bindings like an omake. Lemon admits that she wants to chain Mashburn dead to her, so he'll never ever be able to leave her. There we go.
In my house, we call that bondage.
Most houses, but yes,
Caliente.
that's what she's looking forward to is chaining up MASH or herself. I guess you can do it on yourself. So.
Oh, you know what? And after this little paragraph that I'm reading has a short like 5-second animation clip next to it, and she totally did bind him inside that maze.
Yeah. Then he broke out of it.
Yeah, really
His
easily.
muscles. Yep. Oh yeah.
Her magic
binding
is
magic.
straight useless.
Oh,
She's not even like
it's
a good healer.
It's got uses, but
Not.
for other things.
For bedroom things.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, overall, I love this series. Like, absolutely love this series. Is it up there with like Jujutsu Kaisen and all those others just like visually masterpieces? No.
No.
But as far as like personal enjoyment, I absolutely love this show. I get a kick every time. I rewatched it twice, and it's not even like I'm bursting out laughing the first time, and then the second time I'm like, ha. But like I'm literally bursting out laughing every single time I rewatch this series. So like it is genuinely funny material, and I love the way it's going.
Yeah, it's got to be in its category of its own
Correct.
in order to be like a top list kind of anime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's nothing about this series that makes it like somebody's like top 1 or 2 ever series, but it is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So would you guys rate this now that we've said that we love it, but it's not like a personal top?
I would put it as a solid 7.5 to 8. Like it's just all around good entertainment value, top tier. If you're looking for action, this probably isn't the best place for you. But if you're looking for a really good balance of humor, action, and storyline, this is a great choice.
Yeah, I'd give it like a 7.5. It's good. It's very good. There's nothing really actually wrong with the series. Just it's just not going to be for everybody. We could put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Lance?
Yeah, you guys are a little harsher than I am. If I enjoyed it, it's gonna be a higher rating. So that's how I feel about it. I would say this is like a solid 8.5 for me.
Okay.
That's
okay.
It's basically gonna be was I thoroughly entertained kind of deal, and that's an absolute for sure. There's a couple things I was like, whatever. Like this isn't like we talked about. This isn't gonna be like a top anime for whatever reason, but I was thoroughly entertained, and I do absolutely love it. It's really hard to say why this can't be on my top list, but for some reason it's up there. So I gotta give it an 8.5 for myself.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like this is like it's on my rewatch list. I genuinely enjoy this show. It has a lot of I think season 3 is going to give it a lot more potential, but I guess until now like you just can't take it seriously enough.
You can't do that.
It's the class clown, but it's a really good class clown.
Agreed.
Yep. Okay. That is going to be it as far as Mashle Season 2 is concerned. Before we go, Lance has the Pokemon quiz for us. Hopefully my streak of it getting at least 1 can continue, but we'll find out real quick.
All right. Today we're going to jump into Gen 2 material. I'm going to apologize. First question might be slightly hard, but I will give you, maybe if you can be 50% right on the first question, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
But overall,
right.
I think this set of questions isn't that hard. So, question 1. A new way to evolve Pokemon got introduced. Friendship. Who evolves this way?
So not using a stone or level from friendship alone. Gen 2 would have to be God, I'm drawing a blank. I can't. I remember the eggs. I remember the stones. I don't remember friendship.
So I want to say Togepi evolves with friendship.
Oh.
Is it Meryl?
No. I'll
No,
tell you.
Meryl's the stones.
You keep thinking Meryl's not a baby or anything like that. I remember you talked about that one for the last time I asked a baby question, kind of.
Yeah, Azurill evolves into Meryl, and Meryl evolves into that like egg dude.
Azumarill.
Yeah.
I think baby form Azurill. I think that's like Gen 4. I think that one might be friendship.
He's not in Gen 2?
Azurill, the baby form isn't. You got Meryl and Azumarill, but not Azul. Yeah.
Azul is the baby version.
Yeah, that's a later gen Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the fact that I got 1,
Yeah.
is
Technically,
very,
I'll give you this. It's 1 out
Is
of 8.
Togepi egg? I
One out
thought
of
that was a star stone
No, it's not.
or the
Same.
astral stone. Whatever it
That's
was. Think he's the asteroid on Togepi.
no, the Moonstone.
Yeah, Moonstone. That's what I'm thinking of.
No.
Yeah, but no.
You just ruined all of my hopes and dreams. Lance said I got 1 of 8.
Yep.
So let's see, man.
I'm trying to think.
That is hard.
I always bleed Gen 2 and Gen 3 together. Because there's such a mix. There's an overlap in the games.
Actually,
I can't think of anyone else.
Gen 3 started with pure Gen 3 Pokemon. Gen 2.
Well, that was Sapphire and Ruby and Sapphire and Ruby definitely had some of the older gens.
Later, but the first like 3 gyms were pure Gen 3.
Sure. Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, sure.
Very, very few crossovers happened in the beginning for Gen 3. Gen 2 had an insane amount of crossover.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh man. That's far.
I'll give you a hint.
Is it Hitmontop? There was Hitmonlee, Hitmontop, and Hitmonchamp.
Machamp is a whole separate Pokemon.
Yeah.
Machamp.
Really?
Machamp.
No, that's Machamp. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the hint you were gonna give?
All right. The hint was you said Togepi, so think babies.
Okay. Was it like Cleffa? Not Cleffa.
Yep, Cleffa.
Okay.
Wait, Cleffa's friendship?
Mm-hmm.
Igglypuff. If it's gonna be all the babies, it's gonna be like Pichu.
I'll give you a hint. It's not all the babies.
It's not all the
Not
babies.
all the
Okay,
babies.
I didn't think so, but it's probably
It's
Would
half
be a
the babies.
fossil.
it's
No.
half of them. So if I just start naming babies, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Let's start taking names and kissing babies.
I'm gonna assume it's Igglypuff and Cleffa, and then I already said Togepi. It'll probably be
It's not Pichu?
Pichu is one of them.
okay.
Ooh, okay. You said there's 8? There's 8 Pokemon that
I'll-
transform by friendship?
I'll give you another hint. That's it as far as babies go.
I was gonna say, is it one of the evolutions? That's gonna be
No, because it's
the
a
fairy.
Moonstone.
No, the fairy one. I'm drawing a blank
Gen
on what
2.
oh, that's not Gen 2. Okay.
Sylveon is not Gen 2.
No.
Okay.
Is it Umbreon?
Yep.
Umbreon is friendship?
Yeah. How do you think back? How do
I
you think
thought-
you get? How do you get them?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, because so you have to. So is it Espeon and Umbreon because you evolve them during this period of time?
Yep.
Yeah, one's in the day and one's in the night.
Yeah, but it's still like you still need to be high relationship.
I thought it was
or high
random.
Nope.
It's how much you use them?
Yeah. It's friendship and depending on when you level them up on the time of day. Yep. That's a friendship level.
Ah, that's cool. I just thought it was completely random when I was playing Crystal.
Nope. There's a rhyme and reason.
Huh. What do you know? Then, if those are included, we've gotten the 4 babies, the 2 Eevee evolutions.
Mm-hmm. 2 more.
Porygon?
Nope.
No, that's the like the card thing.
The Dublis disc in the upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the 2.
Trying to think. Gen 2 is the one I'm the worst with. I definitely enjoyed Gen 1 and Gen 3 the most.
Well, Gen 2 is the smallest. It's
It is the smallest of the
Mm-hmm.
introductions, I think. I mean, it is 100, I think, but
You're missing a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's because it combines so much with Gen 1.
right. Well, you
Well,
guys are
It's
at
a ghost Pokemon.
yeah, it is 100.
you guys are at
Um,
6. Do you want to take another second to think of the last 2?
Is it Crobat? Is
Yep.
another? So I got one more.
Oh.
Cool.
Yep,
cool.
Goldbat and a Crobat. That's happiness. Number 7 and number 8.
Since we got over half, can I get one more hint?
Is it oh no, that's Gen 3. Never mind.
Well, just in case, what was your thought?
I was gonna say Shed Ninja.
Nope, yeah, that's Gen 3.
Yeah.
I think a good hint might be Safari Zone.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what I'm thinking of.
Is it Scyther into its evolution?
That's a steel coat.
Okay, yep. Which I think was
Same.
a different question.
Yeah, that was
Same
a
thing with
prior
Onyx.
episode. Yep.
Safari Zone. Ooh.
Chansey? There you go. Chansey and the Blissey.
Really? I thought that was a Moonstone.
Nope, that's friendship.
Oh, okay. Good guess, Matt. Or you knew it.
Definitely a guess.
All right, so
I don't think I ever used Blissey in the games.
You never, ever.
Blissey
Why
is a
heal when you
insane
can
tank.
use offensive?
I was not a tank type person.
No, definitely not. That's definitely if you want to be competitive to a degree. Blissey is actually a really good early competitive Pokemon.
Yep.
Early. That's
Gotta
given
teach it Hyper Beam.
Hyper Beam, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt. Give it all the elements. Just let it tank all the attacks and give all the attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think it didn't it have like or you could hold like an egg or something and it would self heal.
You can give
Yeah.
it leftovers.
yeah.
Leftovers allows you to heal every turn. And then if you had soft boil, that allows you to reheal.
Yep, that's what
So
it
you-
was. That's what I was thinking.
Soft
Mhm.
boil, yeah. All right, so enough about question 1. You guys did good. It took a minute, but we got all of them out there. Congratulations.
Sweet, sweet.
Way to go, us, Alec.
Let's go.
Question 2. What color is Porygon 2?
Porygon 2.
Let me rephrase that. What colors are Porygon
Yeah.
2?
He
Oh.
was pink, green, and blue.
I'm gonna go with Alec on that one. I have no idea.
You go with those?
Yep.
Okay. Unfortunately, you are a little bit wrong on that one.
What was
Uh,
Porygon 2?
Porygon 2, according to its Pokedex entry, it's red and blue. So pink,
Oh, come on.
it's basically there. But yeah, it's,
it was
red
like
and
an
blue.
off red.
yeah, exactly. It's a very, very light red. So when I
And he's
looked
got
at
green
it,
in them too, right?
no, I think
There's no green?
the anime might have fucked with some people.
I
'cause
thought his tail was green.
No,
Nah.
it's literally just blue and red.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The green might be I don't know, maybe it was on a Pokemon card or something, but it's not the official colors. So you're mostly there, but not complete. All right, and question 3: what level does Larvitar evolve at?
Ooh, that's a lot. That's a pretty far one. too, I know
Yeah.
that for sure.
I want to say it's 46.
52.
Matt? Oh, that was my second guess. Who's right?
Before you guys question this, give me Larvitar's evolution set.
So you got Larvitar, you have
Oh shit! No, yeah, it's way
that
lower.
dude.
That dude. Pupitar.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
I always
pine
call it
cone.
Puptar.
Puptar, yeah.
Pupitar.
Pupitar.
Oh yeah. So I'm thinking of that one, not the. So the beginning one is
Yeah.
probably like 30. I'm gonna say like 36.
Okay, I would put 28 for the Puptar.
For Larvitar?
Yeah, for Larvitar and the Puptar.
First one, yes.
Okay. A little bit in between you guys. It is a solid 30.
Okay.
Really?
Yep.
Nothing's
Third-
a solid 30.
Yeah.
This one.
That's a pseudo legendary
one.
for you.
Yeah, I guess legendaries work different.
Pseudo legendary.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Why is he considered a pseudo legendary?
he's super rare and powerful at the same time. It's kind of like all the dragons. Dragonite's a pseudo legendary.
It's the fact that you
Oh,
can
okay.
find them more than once.
I thought he was just regular dragon type.
Nah, I mean basically all the strong dragons are considered pseudo legendaries. Dragonite, Garchomp.
See, I would put like Articuno on a way different playing field than Dragonite.
Oh yeah, that's because that one's an official legendary.
Yeah.
They're there it's just because of their stats. You can have multiple of them in a game, but that's about a bunch. That's about as much
Whereas
as
like
it
a
is.
legendary, you can only have one.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I see where you're getting at. Cool.
And yeah, that's
Gen 2.
that's my questions for today.
All right. Well, we got one. That's all I care about.
Yeah, it took a minute, but I'll give you that one for sure.
You know, our average for Puptar was straight on 30. 32 and 28.
Or you said 36, so it's about 31, 32, but
Shit.
your average was close.
Yeah. It was a good guess.
What's math?
Anything else you guys?
In my research of season 3, there is talk about it's been greenlit, but no official announce as far as when it will be released.
Yeah,
So
I kind of feel like I saw that.
2026 is what
Hopefully.
you're saying. I'll hold you to it. 2026. We heard it all. So that is when the
Well, that-
release date of 2020 of season 3 will be.
Sure.
I'm good with
We
that.
hope.
I can. It's been some time.
It seems to be every year.
Almost.
Like 2024, 2025, and I mean, it's not a full 12-month schedule, but it's at least once a year, one season a year, right? Or was Mashle early last year?
It was early last year, yeah.
Oh, okay. So it could be on like a 6-month or 10-month release schedule.
Something like that, yeah, maybe.
That'll be soon enough. I do expect to see it in 26 for sure.
Nice.
All right, and with that final bit of information, that is going to complete today's episode. Thank you everybody for listening to us this far. Please make sure to rate and review us on whatever platform you're listening to us on. Like we had mentioned earlier, and like what our break had described, we do have a side project podcast going on called Dndnoobz. That's Noobz. So please give us a listen so that our stupid game can get out there and be enjoyed by everybody else. Also, follow the Anime Show on Facebook to stay up to date on everything anime related. They have a lot of good information on there, and we will see you guys next time.
Have a great night. Enjoy your anime.